Hello, everyone. This is Living for the Weeknight, and on today's episode, I am once again with myself. So, the purpose of this episode is a introduction to season 2. Why do an introduction? I don't know. I did an introduction season 1, so I thought let's start here. Let's talk about what I've been up to, what I've got planned for the podcast, and what I'm going to do in the future. Again, I apologize if you hear some heavy breathing. I ate a lot of cheese, a lot of meats, and a lot of bread just now. It was delicious. I'll do it again. I chose it over going to the gym. But probably not the best idea before, recording a podcast where I need my voice and I need my lungs to make my voice work. there's the meat. There's the breathing again from all the cheese. I guess, yeah, maybe I should just cut to the music and then start this again. So, yeah, this is the season 2 intro. Right now, I'm in London, in the apartment I'm renting here in East London. It is really, really hot in my living room. So, given this is like one of the first tastes of summer, I think I'm in store for a very, very sweaty time in my apartment over, the next few months. For reference, this will be quite fun, actually. This is going to give you a barometer of how long it takes me to put this out from when I've actually recorded. So today is Thursday, the 9th of May. It is 7:42 p.m. And yeah, this isn't my first time recording this intro. I recorded an intro like maybe about a month and a half ago. But I recorded that like one evening after work. It felt quite frantic. I felt quite worn out. Maybe not in the best state of mind for recording the podcast, to be honest. So I've had a bit of a refresher. Like since then, I got through my busy work project. I went to Berlin for 10 days to celebrate my 30th. And yeah, I'm just feeling super refreshed now. So I thought, oh, fuck it. I don't want that to be like my first introduction of season 2. I would rather have something, I don't know, a bit more me. Let's say that, as lame as that sounds. But yeah, so what have I been doing for like the last few months? Also, side note, for those who are watching a video, yes, I'm now on video as well as audio. Apologies if my eyes look weird, because I don't know where to look. I've never been recorded in front of a camera before. So I'm like, do I look at my laptop? Do I look at the camera? I'm looking at the camera. The flashing light's kind of blinding me a little bit, but maybe I'll get used to it. Is this what the celebrities do? I don't know. Also, I don't care. But yeah. So anyway, to stop like going off on a little side note, I'm sure all my audience who know me very well know my quirkiness will like this, but maybe new listeners and watchers won't. Watchers? Yeah, you are watchers. It sounds creepy, but yeah, and new watchers won't. Over the last few months since I finished season 1 of the podcast, I've essentially, I took a break because I wanted to reflect on how I want the future of the podcast to go. What can I change? What can I learn from season 1? So I gave myself some time. I re-listened to a bunch of the episodes from season 1. I made some notes over critiquing myself, improving, and just also, I don't know, the type of guests I want going on and into the future. I guess the first thing I should say is I didn't use my break just only for the podcast. I was meant to start a million other things, but to be honest, my break was mainly surviving winter and surviving the dark and cold and all that comes with it. But now the weather's perked up. Feels like the days are longer. Feels like I've got more energy, so I'm back. In terms of direction of what I was thinking for this season and maybe ahead, is that I know the podcast is called Living for the Weeknight, and the premise is about people with jobs who balance their creative passions on the side. We talk about, mental health and happiness. I'm going to keep it mainly like that, but I'm not afraid to deviate. Like, for example, with my final episode in season 1 with Tegan, who's a professional basketball player. They didn't have exactly professional basketball is their job, also kind of their passion too. A little bit of both. But they didn't have anything separate, and that was a blast recording with them. I've kind of decided to take this a bit less seriously. Like, I don't think I was already taking it serious, but if I find someone really cool, no matter what they do, I'm just going to interview them. I kind of just established that where I want to go with this podcast is, to first and foremost just have fun with all of this, to enjoy it, to not get sucked in by all the bullshit with editing and social media and whatnot. Forget all of that. I just want to have a good time interviewing people and have really cool people come along, learn a lot from them, and hopefully you guys in the audience can also learn from them too. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing and what direction I kind of want to go in. Thought it might be kind of good to talk about the challenges ahead of season 2. Sorry if my eyes are like going to weird places. It's just because I'm looking at my notes because, yeah, I made notes. I'm not reading from a script from anything, but I've just got some like bullet points here just to keep me on track so I don't start digressing like I normally do with my wandering mind. But anyway, so like challenges ahead of season 2 that I've kind of had. I guess winter has been one of them. Like when I stopped doing the podcast and decided, oh, I'll have my evenings back, I can learn more stuff. Yes, I was learning more stuff, but at the same time, I guess winter without plans is quite hard. Like the podcast kind of kept me going, kept me doing stuff, but I just replaced that with sleep, to be honest, and that's just the honest fact. So go UK winters, they are terrible. Other challenges though I faced has been, I've moved to video now, so it's video and audio. Audio by the end of the season I had under wraps. I kind of found it quite easy to edit. I had a routine, I could go pretty quick. Learning to video edit from scratch, some teething issues, some learning to, getting all the right equipment. I got a new microphone, I got a camera. What software do I use? What headphones do I get? All these little things that really combine. And you know how earlier I mentioned that this is not my first time like recording this like intro. I've actually already recorded 2 of the actual episodes, so it's weird. This is the first thing you're going to be seeing, but I've already recorded 2 guest episodes already, which I thought went super good. But some teething issues with, learning to use a video editing software. Just got to learn how to make a few adjustments, but should totally be fine and come out okay. If it doesn't, then I can always just put it as audio only and scrap the video for those 2 episodes. I don't know, maybe cut out some cool drawings. I can't draw to save my life, but maybe I could put out some cool drawings instead of the videos. But hopefully it does not come to that. I really hope so. I'm not sure if you could hear that, but I'll just slap in my desk. But yeah, so that's one of the issues I had. Another, to be honest, I think I'm quite a picky person with who I want to interview. London has felt like quite a hard place to, recruit and get people to come on the podcast, mainly because I'm just not so comfortable with reaching out to people I don't know over social media. So I've tried to make a conscious effort that not everyone, but most people that I'm going to be interviewing, I want to meet in the real world. I want to meet in person somewhere, on a random encounter, find out something about them and be like, oh, fuck, they're just super cool. How about I tell them about the podcast and see where it goes and let's see if they can come on. So that was taking me quite some time. But the actual thing which really, really helped me was, so I spent, 10 days in Berlin for my 30th birthday. It kind of rejuvenated me, to be honest. The weather was so much better there than it was here. A bit of all that sun, a bit of no work, kind of, yeah. Number one, it helped me and helped my energy. Number 2, it kind of sparked my creativity again. And number 3, the most important thing, I met a lot of really awesome people while I was on holiday there. People I did not know before. Actually got to meet Jess, who was on the podcast in season 1. That's Jess, who's the yoga teacher in Berlin, runs a music night called the Mix Up as part of Blank Slate. Super cool concept in Berlin. Listen back to the episode if you want to find out more. I actually met her properly in real life, and she was generous enough to let me stay at hers for 2 nights and meet her 2 awesome cute cats. I'm digressing though. Berlin, yes. Berlin was really cool because people I didn't know before, I just happened to meet at raves and other events and, found out a bit about them and then was like, oh, these people are super cool. Come on the podcast. So that's where I am now. So hopefully some of the people I've been chatting to, like some people have firmed, some people have not. Hopefully like quite a lot of the season might be made up of people I actually met in those 10 days, which I think is like a super cool thing. Like I've actually got a good list now. Might have a bit of a backlog where some people might spill into season 3, or I might just make season 2 a bit longer than the 10 episodes that I had in season 1. So that was Berlin, I guess. I guess that was all the challenges so far, that kind of led to this delay because realistically, I wanted to have a 2 month gap after season one and start again. Keep that momentum going, but do you know what? I learned the most important thing is sometimes you need to rest, sometimes you need to sleep. Don't rush it, kind of do things when you're feeling ready. And that's what I did. And now I'm feeling super ready to run on with the podcast and see where it goes once again. But yeah, I feel like that was super short, maybe in terms of an intro. I've already covered the future plans as well. Maybe I can give you some tasters of the people I'm going to have on this season. So, going to have someone I met last year who runs their own record label and has been running it for 3 years. Going to have someone on who does music programming for a really big traveling festival in Australia. Also, a bunch of people who work in the arts. Some people work in sculptures, in like sculpture, blah blah blah. I can't speak. Some people work in like the world of sculptures. I don't know if there's a more technical term for it. Being not involved in that scene, I'm not sure. And people who work in maybe performance art as well. People who work in like set and costume design. So a bit of a range. Of course, as I already stated, I've got people who are involved in music because, I don't know, I love music. Everyone's involved in music these days, but it's cool. I guess I'm meeting a lot of these people at music events, so it figures. And, I try my best, like last season as well, I try my best to get just not only people who are doing music, but honestly, rather than trying to fill a criteria and really, really make sure and really go for 100% diversity, I'm just going by if someone's cool and I can interview them, I'm going to interview them. And then let's leave it as that because no matter what you do, if you do the same, even if you do the same thing, there's always something to learn from someone else because the cool thing is, even if we do the same thing, we'll have such different ways of approaching things. I didn't have anything else to say. This went so much better than my first cut. My first cut, oh God, maybe I'll keep that for like a bonus episode for, sometime in the future where you can see, what it's like to record when you're really not ready to record. This was the introduction to Living for the Weeknight. Really enjoyed recording this right now. Really excited to put out all these future episodes. Season 2 is going to be, if not as good, even better than season 1. Just because I think I have more of an idea of what I'm doing now, a better rhythm, and I think I'm a bit less nervous than I used to be. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and if you're one of the watchers, thank you too. Hope you kind of validate me moving to video too. But if you're all audio listeners, great, I can move back to audio and make it easier. But yeah, thank you.